We live in a digital age, and right now people are looking for something real, for something organic. Last night I saw these kids with an Instapix camera, and they were just marveling over the fact that they could take a picture and then it was printed and it was real. You know, it wasn't just on some hard drive somewhere, it was something tangible. And I think as filmmakers, we're all attracted to, for the most part, filmic images, photochemically processed images. And why is that? I think that there's something nostalgic about it. When we think of movies, we think of film. So there is an association there, but I think more than that, there is a texture and there is a organic quality to film. So when we got contacted through our YouTube channel by a company called Dehancer, who asked us to take an objective look at their software and just be honest about it, I was jazzed, because when I looked at the images that people were making, I was like, yep, this is what I'm after. This is why I shoot with vintage lenses, or lenses that are made to look vintage, so that way you can get a more organic, non-digital look. After spending some time with the software, I was really impressed. It takes these digital images and treats them in a way that makes them feel like film, which is magic. I know the people at Dehancer had studied the photochemical process of film, how it was printed, how it was developed, and they've employed all of that into this plugin that really can take your images and make them something wholly new, something totally special. That's at least what I found with my images. So I wanted to take some time, show you the software, show you how I use it, and it is certainly not the only way to use it. Buckle up, let's jump into Davinci Resolve and take a look at how this thing works. For our purposes right now, I just want to give an overview. So there's the file that's converting it back to the color space that we shot it in, color, curves and saturation adjustment, and Dehancer Pro. I've got 6 clips here on the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is a repeat of this one. So, but basically these shots were done for a short film called Lodi, I Got You that we at Right Film Edit are working on right now. It is a musical, sci-fi, thriller type thing, and I love it. It's like if you can imagine Stranger Things and the Foo Fighters had a baby. That's what this is. And so I've been working on this for 5 years, and this was our first foray into that world. And so we had a crew, and it's lit. But this one is from a sketch comedy we filmed. This one is from another sketch comedy called Bubbles. This one is a sketch comedy called My Strange Addiction. So this was way more run and gun. 2 people filming, and so I wanted to look at both of these examples for what you can get with this plugin, which is kind of amazing. So I'm just going to fly through this plugin to give you an idea of how it works. You basically work from the top down, sort of. I kind of bounce around a bit, but you just choose your camera or your recording format. I already chose my camera, and then you can adjust exposure. You can adjust your temperature control to warm or cool things down, your tint. If you have chromatic aberration, defringing is available. And then you can, I skip Film Developer at this point, and I go to choose my film stock. So I liked this particular film stock, but there are so many, you guys. Oh, look at that. I need a screenshot. I'm going to save that because this is actually supposed to be a day for night look. And look at that. It looks like nighttime. That's fantastic. Just so many things, so many options. Really, though, the thing that kind of strikes me is just, again, how organic the image looks. Like, the images, after running through this plugin, look like they were taken with a film camera. And there is a stark difference. It's more than the grain. It's just, the grain helps, for sure. But there is just so much beauty happening to the processing. Like, her hair, for instance, I've never gotten hair to look so lifelike and so poppy. It almost like takes your image and gives it sort of a 3D element, which I think is so cool. But yeah, anyway, after you choose your film stock, you want to go down to this expand tab and set your contrast points. That is how they recommend doing this. And then film compression is for, if you enable this, it's for dealing with highlights that are overblown. It kind of pushes the highlights back down into the mid-tones, which can help if you have some overblown stuff in your shots, like this one, for instance. If we go into the film compression, I'll toggle it on and off so you can see the difference there. Keep on going down. Print. All right, so people, just generally speaking, print is the process of taking a film and then printing it on film. Yeah, it's its own world. These two things, color head and film. Let's see if I enable this, and let's try and give this like a more cool look. Yeah, all right. So there's the before and after. So I can like cool the image down in a really organic way, really fast. You can also gain these together, and just that to me is like E.T. or something. Like that looks like Steven Spielberg era 80s type film, which is awesome. Okay, so I'm going to disable that though for now because let's keep going. Film grain. All right. Obviously, this is the grain. You can choose different presets for what kind of grain you want, whether 8mm, which is going to be a bigger, fatter grain, or 16 mil. I'm tempted to do 16 mil since we shot this on a Micro Four Thirds camera, but you can also go into custom and change the size, the amount, the resolution, like whether or not your grain just appears in the shadows, in the midtones, how much appears in the shadows, midtones, highlights, if your grain has color, if you're shooting on a positive or negative type film stock, so to speak. So I am going to keep this back at the 250, 35mm default. Just it's sort of it's a nice amount of grain. All right. Halation. This is best exposed, yeah, here we go. So this is sort of, if you go to custom, I don't know if you can see that. You can see in the scopes there, it's changing the amount of reds. But you can change the hue of the halation that's happening, which is really nice. There we go. So if I turn this down, the source limiter, and now if I toggle this on and off, and you can adjust the amount here. So there's halation. But then right after that you have bloom. So let's go to custom again, and I'm going to amplify it so you can see the impact this is having. That was actually impact. All right. So how much your image blooms. That's actually really well. I remember in this clip here, if I go to the bloom, you can see like especially, okay, there's bloom off, and then, or there's bloom off. Here we go, bloom on. Okay, and blowing that up, I'm like, oh, that's too much film grain. So let's go change this to custom, and then go down to size. Turn that down and amount down. That's better. Yeah, so this shot is like a darker shot, so the grain is more pronounced. And so you can dial all this stuff in. It's so cool. All right, and then they've got these newer options, film damage, which again, you can go in and change. If you look at this image, there's just like a bunch of artifacts. You can scale the artifacts. You can change how much are white, how much are black, how much, if there's dust, if there's hair, the amount of scratches. So when you play the clip through, you can see like a bunch of scratchy stuff, which could be cool, especially for like motion graphics or like, it just depends on what you're going for. But know that that's there. Film breath, yeah. So if I keep this period of film breath quite low, and I turn up the exposure and the tonal contrast and the color, and keep the impact high, you'll see it like it's going to change the colors of things, like the film itself is breathing, which is a cool effect. Especially, I can see you know, an argument for that in like a lot of different scenarios. Music videos, flashbacks, moments that you just want highlighted. So I'm going to turn off the film damage for now. And then the gate weave is another cool thing. Again, these look so cool with animations, but where you can change basically how much the film was moving around in the camera, so to speak, as it was running past the gate. So yeah, so you can get it to just kind of be like a shaky sort of experience, and it's kind of nice. You can do this like in a lot of different ways, but it looks cool. And that was obviously a lot. So I could dial that down a bunch, so it's a lot less pronounced. And then you can also turn up the period so it's happening less often, and I can turn down the impact. So if you want something a little more subtle, it's a subtle sort of like thing that would happen in a film, shot on film cameras, that we don't get. And sort of those artifacts are kind of what makes it special. And you can kind of bring that back with this plugin. And then, vignettes output, you can just change the overall output of the whole effect right there. Kind of nice to have that option. This LUT generator, you can, according to the website, you can export these LUTs into your camera. So on set, you could dial in a look here, bring it on set with you, and then light for your look super specifically, which is very exciting, and I will definitely be trying that in the future. Monitor was one I skipped. This is like super useful. Just false color to be able to look at your image and know where things are at. Very, very nice. Nice feature to have. So yeah, this is Dehancer Pro, a really nice way of getting a filmic look to your images that is so simple to use and is doing some kind of magic here. And again, like I know for this flashback sequence, I'm going to need this to be in. So to be able to go in and find that look like right away is really, really cool. I highly recommend it. Check it out. If you do end up getting Dehancer, let me know what you think about it and how it works for you. Please update me. If you do decide to get Dehancer Pro, you can get 10% off, which is pretty cool, by using a promo code they gave us, WriteFilmEdit. Is the name of our channel. And that kicks a little bit of money back to us, which, is awesome because then we get to use that money to make cool videos. And it helps us grow our channel. So positive vibes all around. Here at WriteFilmEdit, our goal is to explore filmmaking, to build a community of like-minded creatives so we can help each other make awesome stuff.